What are some of the games that companies play when they try to hire you as a salesperson or as a consultant? You should know this because I've seen this happen now a couple of times. I'm Scott Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California on a perfect day to talk about sales, a perfect day to talk about business, and a perfect day to talk about you getting hired. Now, I got this friend, Paul. Paul is really good at what he does, and we are having lunch a couple weeks back, maybe a month back or two. He's telling me, like, I had an interview from a company, and here's what they did, is they were struggling as a company, and he's a consultant. He's a smart dude, right? Like, brain power, like, through the roof. Knows what he's doing. So here's what they did. This company brought in all these salespeople and all these consultants, and what they did was they said, here's all the problems that we're having, but we can't pay for consulting, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring in consultants under the guise that we want to hire them, and then we're going to present the problem to them and say, what would you do? Right? And so you're sitting here going, hey, Scott, I don't know if that would ever happen to me. I'm just a salesperson, right? Ain't wrong. It's going to happen to you because this is the second time now in 2 months that I've heard this happen. I heard this happen the other day from another friend that this happened to them. So there are people who are going to, under the guise of wanting to hire you and say, hey, come work for us. What they're really doing is they're like, hey, they're outsourcing the problem. They're group sourcing the problem and saying, you fix it, right? So my friend Paul, the first guy who told me about this, here's what happened. He's like, well, they had some French food there and I liked the restaurant, so I stuck around all day. This guy went through torture, giving up all sorts of free information and free coaching for a free lunch, okay? Like, if you're good at what you do, you should get paid. If you're a closer, you should get paid. So be aware. So, like, here's how I would have dealt with the situation. Probably would have done it a little bit differently. I would have given him a one free gimme, one free mulligan, one free piece of advice, and then after that, I'm like, if you want to see the show, you gotta pay the dough. Pay me, right? I will give you the show. I'll tell you how to do it. You can make the money to my LLC, and I will gladly accept it and deposit in the bank, and once it clears, you and I are going to talk, right? That's how I would have dealt with it. Just a little bit different. Just my belief. I've put myself through school, through courses, through training, but at some point, this is going to happen to you. People are going to be like, hey, can I pick your brain? So this is the equivalent of when I get a message from somebody, and they're like, hey, Scott, I'd love to talk to you over lunch. Can I pick your brain? Right? And the right answer for this is absolutely. Here's my fee. I'll talk to you for an hour. Pay me my fee. We go to lunch, and by the way, you pay. I learned that from Dave Laconte. He's a smart dude, by the way. Dave Laconte's a brilliant dude. Saw him talk in like 2008, talked about this, right? So if someone's going to pick your brain, if you want to see the show, you got to pay the dough, right? That's the way it's got to be. So just be careful because sometimes this is going to happen. And if you're like, well, it's a good chance and I want to do it, yep, that's on you. But chances are good. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to be like, all right, well, we're going to call you and we'll get back to you, which is like the same thing as I want to think about it, which is complete and utter crap. It's not true. They're not ever planning on calling you back. They were after free consulting. So be careful. There are some games that companies play, and it is a form of self-sabotage, and it does suck. So there you go. You got one thing to do from here. Just one thing. Find the subscribe button if you've never watched a video of mine. Hit subscribe. And then every time I send out a video, which is very frequent, you will get an update that says, Scott Bell Consultant sent out a video. You should check it out. And it says, this is amazing and fantastic and awesome. It doesn't really say that, but it's true. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.